Boy, you better call me before you show up at my house come knocking like that. What are you doing?
You're into hip-hop.
I'm into music like you ain't. Man, I'm into everything.
That's my first question. Hey, can we play 20 questions?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, people come knocking on my door out of nowhere and ask me about 20 questions. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, go ahead. What?
You can trust me. It's all
okay.
Yappy. Okay, first question. Where did you get the name Yappy Beeman?
Oh, that's your best question? Well, that's number one question.
That's number one.
All right, fine. Number one question. Dude, actually, Yappy Beeman name came from my first visit to an old gathering that they had over Mississippi with the Bee Masters group back about, they were running this about 10 years ago, and the host of the place, we all called him Big Bud, and great guy. But if he liked you, he gave you a nickname. It took him all about 12 minutes, and he started calling me Yap Yap. Well, the whole weekend, I was Yap Yap this, Yap Yap that, and I begged him. I said, can we go a little bit off that? Can you call me Yappy? He said, no, son. Well, I'll give you a name. You got that name. You're Yap Yap. For the rest of your life, you die, you're going to be Yap Yap. Put it on your gravestone, going to be Yap Yap. I said, okay, fine, sir. So I kind of, for the YouTube thing, we kind of go with the Yappy Beeman, because Yap Yap Beeman seemed weird, but I love it when I call Bud and he calls me Yap Yap.
So you like catching swarms. Do you ever wear a bee suit when you catch a swarm?
Well, no. But I take stings pretty well, okay? I'm pretty much immune to them. But generally, a swarm of bees, the whole theory and history is that, there's nothing to protect and, they're just less aggressive. Well, I'm just going to tell you this. Get a hold of one that was out in the rain the night before and then see how that works out for you. But for the most part, no, I don't use them anymore. So it is what it is.
What's the most memorable bee removal you've ever done?
Well, it depends. Are you going to walk around with me while I check my bees and all this stuff? Because I got work to do while we're doing 20 questions.
Keep going. Absolutely.
All right, fine. Most memorable?
Yes.
Wow. So back to the bud gathering. My very first time that I went down there, they had a hive that was in an old farmhouse. House was said to be about 150 years old. The family continued to own this house throughout the years. They had a beehive in that wall that was 75 plus years old that they knew was there, and it was 2 foot wide, it was 12 foot tall, and it actually had grown over into the void next to it, and we had to take literally half the side of that house apart to get to it. But I did that removal with my buddy JP the Bee Man, Shao Wee, Beekeeper of the Swamp, Big Bud, and a bunch of people that came to that gathering. But that was probably the most ginormous beehive I have ever seen in my life. It took 5 deep boxes to actually put those bees in. Insane.
What's the most times you've been stung during a bee removal?
Removal or like what I'm probably going to get today. Most times I've been stung in a bee removal. Dang, I quit counting at 50 on one of them. Kind of mostly because when you can't see out of your eyes because they're so swelled shut that you really can't keep track of your numbers. So I would say probably about that many.
Okay, so you call yourself Happy Yappy. What makes you happy?
Bees, dude. I'm serious. You put me out around bees. I'm even happy, honestly, when I get stung. I really won't even complain when I get stung. But I can, for the most part, I can say you put me around some bees and makes it Yappy happy. See, it just flows. We need a T-shirt with that.
So how'd you get started in beekeeping?
I got started in beekeeping when my wife and I wanted to get into medicinal medicine of all things, and we were learning. Can you hear that? We were learning about what different plants and roots and berries and barks and things that we could use to actually use for medicine, even use for food. And I'll give you one example. All right. Sitting right here at my beehives, get a good look at it. This is what we call plantain. All right. And this came over with the early settlers, and my buddy Daryl Patton calls it, the Indians called it the white man's footprint, okay? Because everywhere they walked, this stuff popped up. But you can actually take a wide leaf off of this, all right? And you can take it, chew it up. It don't taste bad, really, it don't. But you kind of get it like almost like a spinach consistency, and then you could hold it onto a bee sting for about 5 minutes, and this will actually draw the poisons out as well as neutralize them and reduce your bee stings down. So plantain, all right?
So how many hives do you run now?
In this yard, we've got whatever, you know, the 20-something we got in this yard. I try to keep about 25. I'm double that right now because of the fact that a lot of these are my removal hives. I've got a couple that just haven't got moved, like the triple stack over here, because I got to keep some handy. But I try to keep about 25 because you got to work a balance between. I'm a remover now. I spend about 3 days a week removing bees out of people's houses, and to keep the balance to where I can work my bees right, I manage them the way I do. But I will try to keep, by the end of the season going into winter, about 25.
Okay, let's do a little this or that. Dogs or cats?
Neither. I'm a bird man. But I'm a cool bird man. What a lot of you don't know about me is I'm actually a federally permitted and state permitted falconer. So I get to mess with like hawks and things like that. Eagles, no. But you know, for example, I have a red-tailed hawk that I hunt squirrels with. I get it as a juvenile, and I focus on what it knows in nature, and I actually put it in positions where it can hunt and be safe without getting hit by cars or hunters seeing it and mistaking it for something it's not. And you know, I kind of go down that road. But if it weren't for the birds, probably be dogs.
Okay. Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Chick-fil-A. Oh, there is no comparison, man. No comparison. I'm a Chick-fil-A all the way kind of guy. That's God's food, all right? It is a proven fact that you will go through Chick-fil-A, get your order wrong, and you'll still love it because it was what you were supposed to have.
Okay, big question. Alabama or Auburn?
Roll Tide, baby. And if I don't say anything other than that, Bruce Jen's going to get mad. But now listen, this year, I hate to say this, I'm probably going to vomit in my mouth. My buddy Kirk Petit up in North Georgia, all right? Been a beekeeper for years. Older gentleman that I have more respect for than I can even explain. He's a Georgia fan. Obviously, he lives in North Georgia. And, well, they won the championship this year, right? So after giving Georgia an Alabama coach to finally get to the point where they can win a championship, I got to say, go Dogs! But anyway, that's the best I can give you.
Okay, so what got you started with posting videos on YouTube?
My buddy JP. A lot of you guys know. If you don't, check him out. JP the Beeman on YouTube. He's one of the original guys that was started posting videos on YouTube of his bee removals. I believe that he was really kind of getting it out there to show people that bees aren't as bad as what we think. In the South, everybody kind of sees a flying bug around them and they all freak out and they think they're yellow jackets and they want to kill them. But at the end of the day, no, I don't. I think that obviously the bees are pretty cool and we obviously need them. Nature needs them. They don't just pollinate our food. They pollinate everything that nature eats. The birds that eat the little berries off the trees to the nuts that fall off them for the squirrels and the deer. So at the end of the day, I fell in love with it. He said, "Hey, you do a great job. Let's play with some bees on camera," and I fell in love with it. Went from there. So I started sharing my stuff.
Who's your best friend?
Well, I'm going to say I'm not telling you because the other three guys that I told they were my best friend, they'll get jealous. So if I name one person, then I'll make everybody else jealous. But man, what kind of life is it if you just have one best friend? All right, you ever meet Yappy? You've met a best friend. Just saying.
I didn't take you to be political.
I'm really not, but when you get to a point where your YouTube's doing good and people are all out there, if I don't drop 17 names in this one, then I might make somebody mad. So I'm just gonna say my bird's my best friend.
Good answer.
Okay.
What is Yappy Beeman's greatest fear?
Ooh. All right, so I'm a fireman by trade. Been one for 30 years, and now I mess with dangerous animals and bees and everything else. And I used to have no fear whatsoever. Couldn't care. You put me in anything, I wasn't scared. And one day, I did ham radio back a few years ago, and I climbed up my antenna tower to get an antenna down, which ain't but like 30 feet up, okay? And when I looked over the vast abyss of what we've got over here of a small valley to the other side where the mountain range comes up, I felt like I was literally 10,000 feet up in the air, and I said, nope, I'm done. Am I afraid of heights? I seriously don't like them, but the one thing I think that I could probably say is I will never go into a cave and go cave diving. That ain't gonna happen. And the reason why is because my luck, as soon as I get about 100 feet down in that thing, an earthquake will hit and I will be buried alive. And no, I figure avoid it, but that would probably be my biggest fear, is being buried alive in a cave.
If you could only follow one other bee channel on YouTube, who would it be?
That's like asking me my best friend, okay? I am a YouTuber, and I have got some very close friends who have helped get me to this. And, man, if I had to name one, I would probably say I'd have to give up YouTube. I'd probably just have to break my phone and pretend like I would never watch it again. Man, there's too many good guys out there. I think I would probably change over to like the fishing shows, or maybe watch cartoons with my kid. But I don't know if I could say anyone.
What's your favorite activity outside of beekeeping?
Driving people crazy. Just being like at Walmart, making weird noises around people and making them wonder where that came from. No, actually, outside of the beekeeping thing, honestly, it's every waking moment that I give with the family. We were blessed to be able to buy a camper, and it's been a dream of my wife and I. We've had a couple of them, but to load the kids up and just get out of town, get away from everything, that's probably my happiness right there. And just watching the kids grow up and being there for them, there's the sentimental side of Yappy. That's worse than having to say go dogs, but
cool.
Okay,
I'll follow you around. Hey, if you could solve one problem in beekeeping, what would it be?
One problem in beekeeping. Wow. I would hope that somewhere down the line we can change our attitudes as beekeepers, to where we don't look at it as a competition, that if 3 new people come into it that they're going to take away from us. Beekeeping is on a major rise. It's been on the rise. I've seen it in the 10 years I've been involved in it. It just continues to become more and more popular. There's always a swarm of bees somewhere. There's always a bee removal to do. There's always somebody looking for honey, and we're getting into a time, I think, in society and life, and look at that. Where'd you go? We're getting into a time. Thank you. We're getting into a time to where we need to stand together as beekeepers, and help supply people, with the honey and everything else. There's always somebody out there that'll buy it. If I could change anything, it would be that I would hope that we could actually learn to get along a lot better and help each other out so that we can all gain, as opposed to feeling like, there's people out there that are trying to take from what we're doing. There's enough out there, in my opinion, so hope that helps.
What's one thing you wish you knew before getting started with bees?
Oh, God. This is addicting. This is horribly addicting. It will drain your bank account, okay? Everything will, and then you lose hive tools. Buy 17 hive tools because you're going to lose the first 16 on the first day. So buy multiple hive tools. Get a second job so you can afford the beekeeping. And really honestly, in your first couple of years, don't let the addiction take you over. You get that first box of bees and you're sitting there with a glass of sweet tea in the chair and you're just like, hey man, I like this. And then you got to have another one, and then another one, and then another one. And you can get overwhelmed real quickly, and you will actually do bad by your bees. 2 boxes to start out with is always a great recommendation, so that you can kind of compare which one's doing good. You've got resources to help this one if you ever have a problem. But at the end of the day, slow down. Don't go from 1 to 40 overnight, okay? There's management practices to actually turn around and you can add bees to the 2 you got and boost them up and make them strong. But slow down for your first couple of years. Get a handle on it and then go.
If you could have dinner with one person in history, who would it be?
I can't think of anybody, because if I was sitting there having dinner with anybody in history, they'd probably be a pile of dust, and it would really screw up my food. I would hate to have to taste somebody like, Da Vinci powder all over my food, so no, I'm not doing that.
Do you have any regrets?
Regrets. I regret not taking that magnolia tree that I cut down about a month ago a lot sooner. To be honest with you, that thing was a pain in the butt, and I don't like heights, remember? And I had to rent a lift to cut that thing down because it was about 50-something feet tall. So I regret not taking it down sooner.
Last but not least.
Oh, there is an ending to all this? Because half of these questions, I'm wondering, are you like asking me these because you're trying to date me, or is this for a purpose? Because I know we're talking about bees, but then cats or dogs. I'm wondering. All right, if you ask me about long walks on the beach, mean you're gonna fight. Okay, go ahead.
Last question. What was the single best day of your life?
Every one that I've lived. Man, I mean, put yourself in my shoes. I'm a fireman. I get to do some really cool stuff, okay? I see some horrible, but I do some really cool stuff. I have lived every dream that I possibly could. I got into beekeeping, and the one person who I have always held as an icon in this business, friended me and taught me everything he knew through multiple friends, and then helped me grow, progressed me, and then all that work ended up flourishing to where I say humbly, very humbly, but at this point in time today, and prove me wrong, I have the most viewed beekeeping video in YouTube. So that is insane, and my channel's blown up, and I hope that I can't wait till the next person does it and I fall off the board, because I'm going to compliment them. But I'm really honestly, every day of my life is great, even when I'm sick and I'm cranky, and I'm hoping that was really seriously the last question you're going to ask me.
It was.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Hey, Yappy.
Thank
you. We'll catch you around, all right?
Well, can I go back and listen to my music and eat my sandwich?
Absolutely.
Well, fine, because your hippie hop ain't as much fun as my hippie hop.
See ya, Yappy.